Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to an In Memoriam video on Ian Holm, who died last week at the age of 88. Obviously, Ian Holm had an amazing career, Alien and Brazil and Lord of the Rings films, and his work with Cronenberg. But the film I'm going to talk about today is Atom Egoyan's The Sweet Hereafter, based on a book by Russell Banks. This film came out in 1997 and won awards all over the world, and won at Cannes, not the Palme d'Or, the Grand Prix at Cannes. Up to that point, it was probably Egoyan's most mainstream film. This one is in the Artificial Eye Egoyan box set, which I would highly recommend. For me, there's kind of 4 Egoyan films that you've got to see: The Sweet Hereafter, Felicia's Journey, The Adjuster, and Exotica. This has all the kind of traits of Egoyan. The music by Michael Dana, who does most of Egoyan's music. It's about a school bus. It's about a school bus crashing up north in this kind of isolated little community, and Ian Holm is the lawyer, a character called Mitchell, who is employed to try and get as much money from anybody he can for the families. It's got a wonderful cast. It stars Egoyan's wife, Arsene Kahanajan, which probably isn't how you pronounce her name, who's appeared in lots of his films. Bruce Greenwood, who's one of the most underrated actors in the world, I think. Alberta Watson, the wonderful Maury Shaken, who is in, for me, my favourite Egoyan, and for me his best film, The Adjuster, and Sarah Polley when she was young. She plays a pivotal role as one of the kids on the bus who ends up being paralysed through the accident. Because it's Egoyan, it's kind of shown in flashback, so we initially see Ian Holm turning up, coming across the garage and finding the wreck of the bus, which looks as though it's been mauled by Godzilla. And then it kind of flashes backwards and forwards between the families trying to cope with the loss of their children and the increasing dread as we watch the flashbacks until we get to the crash. We do see the crash, but it's done in quite a beautiful way. Bruce Greenwood always drives behind the school bus so he can wave at his kids who are at the back of the bus. So we actually see the accident through his eyes, which is a really nice way of doing it. So there's different families, and as the film unfolds, again in this very slow, deliberate, kind of mysterious way, which some people might find annoying, but you just have to kind of go with it. We realise that some families are more about the money rather than the kids. Some families, there's reasons why they want the case to be finished quicker. Sarah Polley's family has a secret. And then there's a pivotal moment where people are giving evidence and when Sarah Polly gives her evidence, things kind of change. There's also time spent with the driver of the bus who survived, who's this kind of middle-aged woman who wouldn't say boo. But again, her story, as we find as the film draws to the conclusion, is fairly chilling. There is a Pied Piper motif that kind of Egoyan, you could argue, hammers us over the head with. It could be a little bit more subtle. Again, as Ian Holm, who has problems of his own with his own child, who again, we kind of see this unfolded as we go back and forward in time. So he's got his own problems with his child. But he gives a great performance as somebody who's really cocksure and confident in his professional life, but as we see in his private life, there's cracks there. I mean, there's a wonderful scene on a plane where one of his daughter's old school friends bumps into him and tries to chat about him and ask him how his daughter's doing, and he really skillfully and masterfully kind of shifts the conversation away from his daughter and kind of just shuts the friend down, because he's more interested in getting a new microphone jack. It's a beautiful film. Again, it's beautifully acted because, again, there's no stars, it's just talent. Maury Shaken is the kind of uncaring father whose wife, Alberta Watson's having an affair with Bruce Greenwood. There's a kind of a wonderful pre-coital and post-coital scene with Alberta Watson and Bruce Greenwood, because it's like real people before and after sex. It's not glamorized or anything, it's not glamorous. Again, Dana's music is just exquisite. Sarah Polly actually sings on a few songs. I would recommend the soundtrack. Sarah Polly has this kind of ethereal voice, and there's some beautiful little acoustic numbers. And again, Dana usually goes for, the strings. His Exotica score, which I've got, and the Justice score, which I've got, are both very highly recommended. It's a beautiful little film. Again, if you don't like the kind of flashback structure, or if you don't like the Pied Piper motif, which I would have to say does use a little bit too much, but it is a wonderful film about grief and responsibility and the need people have after tragedy to find somebody responsible. They want to blame the manufacturers of the bus, they were being cheap with the screw or whatever. There's a desperate need to blame somebody, and then obviously if you then put a financial price on a child, which unfortunately during these tragedies, that's what companies do, that's what lawyers do. They try and put a dollar value on their child. Arsene Kahanajan, Atom Egoyan's wife, she's half of a couple of kind of hippies that lost their adopted Native American son Bear, and of course they just don't want anything to do with the whole getting money for your dead kid. So it has that going for it. It's beautifully shot. It's just a wonderful, bleak, disturbing, dark film with really no light at the end of the tunnel, which makes it fantastic. And I would highly recommend it. And it's another really good Ian Holm performance. He's very kind of assured and quiet in this one, but it's just fantastic. So thanks for watching. this tiny little insignificant tribute to Ian Holm. Let me know in the comments if you've seen The Sweet Hereafter by Atom Egoyan and what you think of it. And hopefully I'll see you again for more videos. This is Solitary Ronin saying farewell.